Hey you guys, welcome to the Green Nest from MyNEWPhilly, where the topic is always
birds.
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 birds. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mickey Grace, and I'm going to let my co-host introduce themselves.
I'm Mike O'Donnell. You can find me on Twitter at Ode Entertainment and Instagram as well, Ode Entertainment.
I'm Matthew Nudo. What is Twitter?
Oh, it's this, you gotta check it out. It's this new site.
It will never last.
Never.
Oh, God. Do you not have a Twitter?
No, I'm on Twitter. At Matthew Nudo.
Oh, okay.
2 T's.
I'm Everett Terry. Y'all know me as Sports Talk Terry.
Or hashtag Eagles hater.
Yep, on
Hashtag
Instagram,
watch
Facebook.
Hashtag I heart Ezekiel
Yeah.
Elliott.
Hey, listen, Twitter, everywhere. I'm out there. Find me, like me, ask me questions.
All right, you guys. So we're going to jump right into it. We got a bye this week. Came at a really weird
Couldn't
time.
lose.
So we couldn't lose, but
There
we're
it is.
3-0. And we're the only team in the NFC to be undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
two of
let's
those
talk about
games
the
y'all were
NFC.
expected to win, though.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Like, who didn't expect y'all to beat the sorry bleeping Bears?
What do you think?
and
you
the god-awful
did.
Browns?
Look, hold on. Every single week, the next week was the real
It's
test.
my
So
job
we played
to-
the Browns, and it was like, oh, but we play the Bears next week.
Do you
We
think
beat
we're
the
right?
Super
Browns.
Bowl's the real test.
Do you think we're
There it is.
Almost say.
Do you think we're gonna be favored the next two games?
Against the
Detroit,
Lions.
Wait,
Redskins.
what was your? What,
I don't like you against the Redskins. I do like you against the Lions.
But
Why,
what would
why
you
not against the
favor?
Redskins? Because they have such a great defense
Because
going
they're
on
the
there.
defending division champions.
We're not going to be able to
Okay,
handle
but
Terrell
the last
Pryor.
11 division championships have all been different.
That doesn't
Like every
matter.
single one is different. And
In order to
before
beat,
that,
in order to
we
beat a
won
champ, you
4
got to
years
beat
in
the
a row.
champ.
Yeah, when's the last time there was a repeat in the NFC East?
2004.
Wow, stats on deck. Okay.
Love it.
That was us.
It was us because we
That was
won
us.
4 years in a row.
us.
Yeah, the TO year. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so the
Scooting
Eagles,
right along.
So the Eagles are 3-0. The Cowboys are 3-1.
Right.
Redskins
Dak
are
Prescott.
500, 2 for 2. And the Giants are 2 for 1, but they will be 2-2 when we beat the Vikings, or when they beat the Vikings
No,
tomorrow.
I don't think they beat the
Did you say
Vikings.
we?
Right.
I
you
know.
did
I'm
say
really
we.
sorry.
Listen, I don't think they.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
think that they beat the Vikings.
Why not?
The Vikings are fool's gold. They're one of these teams that are like a foe of what you really think that
But
they
their
are.
defense
See,
has
they have
been
a quarterback that we
consistently
should
elite.
have, that Bradford guy.
That Bradford guy's pretty good.
Well,
He's
Why did
looking
the
pretty
Eagles
good.
go for him?
I don't know.
What is?
I like this
What's
kid,
this
man. They do.
Why? Why?
Listen.
We're good. We're cooling with Carson Wentz.
Hey, I'm loving Carson Wentz.
Yeah, we're good. Look,
I
Unbelievable.
mean, you got about a decade out of him if you can stay healthy. Please don't start pointing at those shirts.
let me turn that one around
In case you
too.
guys didn't see, we have a Carson Wentz shirt here already.
This one is also a
Odell's
Carson
selling them
Wentz
for
shirt,
like
but-
$8. Go get them right now.
And I just have to say, the sports radio in the town.
Oh,
has
yeah, it
been
has been
unbelievable.
elevated.
I've
This
stopped
week,
listening to it.
The
I actually listened to music
podcasts
for the first time in
have
like
been
5
amazing.
years.
Just unbelievable.
I stopped listening to
Everybody
sports
is
radio. I
on
can't.
board.
The
Let
love
me tell you
fest is
something.
crazy.
I moved to LA earlier this year, and everyone out there is talking Eagles, and I love it. And
Yeah.
I don't blast
Because
anything
Jared
louder
Goff is
than
awful.
97.5
They're sitting there saying, why did we
on
draft
my
that
car.
guy?
Why?
They love us.
Yeah.
Or they
ESPN,
hate us.
period.
Well, yeah,
They hate
because they
us,
took
but-
Carson
ESPN,
Wentz.
period. Like every 5 topics comes back to Carson Wentz and
It
how
does.
like
Quarterback is the make or break of the
Other than that.
team. That's what you expect.
Yeah.
Because he's the greatest of all time at 3-0.
Now, the
There it
LA,
is.
He's never lost his knee.
are the LA Rams saying anything? Like, oh, we should have took Lance?
Absolutely.
No, they just keep their head down.
Well, well, listen, they're 2-2. They can't be that much. They can't be that disappointed. I mean, they're playing over their heads right now. They just beat the Cardinals, the division favorite, and
Cardinals have fallen apart.
Carson Palmer might be done. I mean,
Yeah.
but
JJ Watt might be done.
yeah, he's out. And you know what? The Texans are still 3-1 without him.
Yeah.
Well, you know who else is 3-1 without their star? Cowboys.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Bryant.
Yeah.
There it is. No Dez, no Tony,
Almost
no
that.
problem.
That's
But
it.
Prescott
They handle business.
looking good.
I mean, but it was
That's a
against
lot.
Chip. They were
That's a
against
lot.
Chip.
That's a
Chip's
lot.
good for giving up those easy wins. We saw Chip worked out here.
yeah, his 6-play
Blaine,
playbook.
hey, listen, Blaine Gabbert is not a running quarterback, okay? You cannot run,
I know. He had him
QB
running
pitches
him.
and
He was
tosses
running
with
him,
him.
too.
Yeah, I mean, getting them hit like
Yeah,
everywhere,
yeah.
right?
It was interesting.
All right, you guys, let's go to some grades for the season. So far, let's give your grade of Dougie P. Can we start with ET though? Because
Sure.
he talked so much trash during the draft.
Listen,
about
I'ma
Carson,
give-
Dougie P. Well, do you remember like your season?
I remember my
Last
season
week,
predictions.
what
I
was it?
gave them like 8 wins. I mean, okay. And like I said, I still stick by 8-8, maybe 9-7, maybe, because they still got to play in the division. They got to play against teams that know them in and out. I'm going to give Doug Peterson a B+ grade because coaching is what makes the difference, okay?
That's actually really fair. Like,
It
I
is a fair
applaud you
grade. It is.
for
It
you.
is a fair grade
For
because
you.
you got to look at it like he's putting those guys in positions to make plays. if you look at the Eagles top to bottom and go through the rest of the NFL, they are a bit devoid of talent, especially on the offensive side of the football. Yet they're winning games. And they beat a formidable Pittsburgh team last week, primarily because the defense just played out of their mind. They kept Ben Roethlisberger in check, which again, Dougie P allowing Jim Schwartz to do what he does well.
Oh, yeah,
I respect it.
4-3.
I respect it. And you know what? I said in the offseason, Jim Schwartz was going to be a huge hire for them because say what you want, he might not be a great head coach, but he's one hell of a defensive coordinator. Arguably top 2 or 3 in the NFL.
Mike?
Yeah, Dougie P. I gotta give him an A.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just because he was the biggest unknown factor and you didn't know how the play calls were gonna be, but like during the Andy years, during the Chip Kelly years, I was always at least screaming at my television once or twice, being like either run the ball or what was that call? And I really haven't done it one time in 3 games.
Well, why are we running the same play over and over and over?
Oh, like Chip Kelly did today?
Right, yeah, jet sweep. And now just seeing, and like for instance, the Trey Burton touchdown.
Yeah.
Great play call from Doug Peterson in the red zone. It's toughest to score in the red zone because it's so compact and the defenses are so moved up. But I mean, he's done a good work with some clever looks. Just like everyone was saying, without like the grade A talent that you're saying, he's getting it done and scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So I'll give him an A.
Before you get in that, the one thing I'm going to say to kind of piggyback off of that, being a former quarterback, I think he understands what it is to be at the line of scrimmage and make pre-snap adjustments. And so he's encouraging his quarterbacks to do that. You see it with Carson Wentz getting to the line. If he doesn't like the look, he checks down. He'll audible out of a play. Something you didn't see from McNabb with all the years of Andy Reid. Something you didn't see with any of the other quarterbacks they had, from Vic to Kevin Cobb to, go down the list of guys. And even last year with Chip Kelly, he wasn't a big fan of audibling out of plays. But now you see, if a play isn't working when you do your pre-snap reads, you make an adjustment and you catch the defense off guard. So again, as much of that goes to Dougie P coaching up Wentz to utilize the playbook and use hot routes and make pre-snap adjustments.
And I think what's working between those two is that Carson Wentz is used to that pro-style offense.
We agree.
Out of college.
Out of North Dakota State.
Doug, go figure. Doug is here. It's his first year here. It's Carson's first year here. There's not a lot
All
of
they can
pressure
do is grow up. Right.
There's no egos there.
They can only go up.
Everybody is balanced out. And I think the thing with Doug is that he's playing this hands-on approach, unlike Chip, that had to be in everything. Doug's kind of like, just let this roll and let us go off that. It is frustrating on the offensive side, though, not having a big playmaker as far as a wide receiver.
And Josh Gordon is now out of football, so
give us the
Josh
grade.
Gordon, I wouldn't take Gordon out of the way. I'm saying at this point a B+.
Okay.
B+.
Now,
Not what I'm seeing, but as soon as we hit the division.
There it is. Now, guys, make sure that if you're watching and that you're sharing, you're liking, you're typing in your questions. We want to field some live questions on this week's show.
And we want to know what you guys think. Give us your grades for the quarter of the season.
Yeah. Wait, so really a B?
B+.
B+.
There it is. I like the B+.
I'm sorry.
B+ is a good grade. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
He still has room to get better.
get
Right. He can still
I
get
guess. I mean, we don't have that one key, like, big playmaker, but that actually gives room to so many different guys. We talked about last week how Eagles will just pull somebody random.
And it's not like we're not putting in the effort. I mean, we drafted 2 receivers with our first-round picks. It's like, now are these guys going to be able to be?
Well, and that's the thing. That it comes down to those guys stepping it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give you a grade of. Oh, we have a question. So we're going to answer. We're going to answer that question.
We have an answer.
We have an answer.
Malachi Moore, more of a comment. He says the Eagles' holes are in their secondary.
We agree.
And the
Forever.
linebacker crew.
Forever.
The Eagles' holes are in their secondary and their linebacker crew. The D-line covers their shortcomings.
We agree. Fletcher Cox makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
He's a disruptive player who takes away time from the quarterback to pick him apart in their secondary. He makes up for the shortcomings in the secondary.
Absolutely. Just like good quarterback play can make up for a lot of faulties in the offense, defensive line pressure can make up for a lot of faulties in the secondary.
We agree.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's obviously, but you got to say the secondary did do a good job against Pittsburgh, too. I mean, tackling, once the players did get the ball. There wasn't a lot of yards.
Had 12 catches for 140.
But you saw in the first.
But he was getting tackled once he caught the ball.
He's supposed to get tackled. Like, it's football. We hope he gets tackled. He's going to have a Julio Jones kind of day.
And last week they looked great, but like those first 2 weeks, there's 2 random 40-plus yard passes that just slipped out of nowhere in the secondary. We can't have something like that at the end of the game.
Agreed.
Especially when it's on the line.
Agree.
Yeah, and if the guy didn't drop it in the Pittsburgh game, it would have been, it could have changed the whole game.
Yeah.
Dropped
Agree.
it in the end
We
zone.
agree.
All right, so we're going to hear from a few more comments and questions.
2 more comments were Diane Roden says her grade thus far is a B, and Malachi Moore gives him a C+ thus far.
Malachi's the ultimate hater.
Go away, sir. Just,
Ultimate hater. Listen, this is the one guy on Facebook. Listen, this guy said he's got 8 teams. So how seriously do you think he's got 8 teams? I promise you, he's got 8 teams. Look him up on Facebook.
What are you
He said he's
grading
got
them?
8 teams.
Yeah, what are the rest of those grades? Who's winning? Who
Everybody
gets
in
a
the
B or A?
NFC East, so that way at least one of his favorite teams wins it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So we gave WP all their grades, but Jim Schwartz, who is doing an amazing job, he's pulling the Eagle defense into this 4-3 that's working, that's consistent.
Utilizing talent.
Absolutely.
He gets undoubtedly an A. I mean, when you look at
So
what
proud
he's
of
doing
you.
with what they have, to do what they did to Pittsburgh last week, that was the turning point. You know, I can't say anything negative about what he's done on defense. There's nothing to
I think
say.
you're turning into.
Absolutely not.
I think
Never.
you're coming to the dark
Never.
side.
I'm a Dolphin fan for life.
How are the Dolphins doing?
Don't worry about
Okay,
that.
cool.
All I
Are
know-
you on the uniform committee for the Dolphins? Please
Oh,
help
yeah,
me spot
that-
out.
yeah.
What's
Those-
that shirt of yours?
those
I think
color
that
rush
this shirt
you
right
can
here
go.
might be just right.
I'm pretty sure you can fit it.
Hey, we're
Look
still.
at Kelly Green.
Hey, listen, we're only 2 games out in the division. Thank you, Buffalo, for that 16-0 shutout today. Nobody circles the wagons like those
That's
Buffalo
going down
Bills.
hard.
Those creamsicle unis. Are they going to trout them out next week?
Creamsicle.
Man.
I hate
Good
them.
one.
Listen, I hate Tannehill. We can go on all day about that.
Oh, so you're a Dolphins fan, you just don't like the Dolphins.
I will give the defense the A+.
Oh, yeah.
The A+.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it even raises Howie Roseman's grade
Absolutely,
a letter
absolutely.
for pulling him in. I mean, like,
he looks like a
Him coming
genius this
coming back when
offseason.
they let him
Yeah.
go and he came
He's
back
made
in the
every
off
right move.
season.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
and
got a
most
franchise
importantly,
quarterback.
Schwartz, if he's smart, is looking at this team being like, okay, we
can
might
actually
have a
get better.
franchise. Why would I even jump to another, being a head coach? So I can really build something here and kind of be a dynasty. Now, it is a draw to be
Ego.
a head coach.
Yeah,
but I mean, I
ego.
think hopefully he'll stick around for at least 4 or 5
Yeah, I think
years.
it's premature to
It
say
is,
he's ready to
but
go.
to have a team like this on your resume and build out for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Especially if he gets a hand in some drafting of some talent in the offseason, signing a couple
Absolutely.
free agents, really solidifying that secondary, getting some linebackers in here.
Then if that backfires, that doesn't fall on him.
Oh, yeah.
True shade.
Eagles got a program going this year. We're going to answer another question.
Diane Roden says, do you believe that they are doing better in the red zone with penalties so far compared to last season? And Malachi Moore says, who will give the Eagles their first loss?
Division loss for sure.
Nobody.
So you're saying Redskins?
I like the Redskins to give them their first loss. The Redskins are starting to turn the corner. They look like they sputtered a little bit the first 2 weeks. They're starting to get into a rhythm now. You saw them take care of business versus Cleveland. They're utilizing the ground game. I think they give the Eagles the first real test. And D-Jack always likes playing against Philly. Always.
Sure.
Who's going to cover him?
I kind of think it's the Giants.
Wow.
Like,
Giants, that's after Dallas.
Right. So you think the
because-
Giants don't? Right.
Only because
I'll
we
go 8-0.
we
I'll take
hate
that.
we hate the Cowgirls so much that I just feel like the way they stepped up for the Steelers, I can't see them not stepping up from the Cowboys.
Dak
But the
Prescott
Giants is
looks
like, I
good,
also
man.
hate you, but not as much as the Cowboys. So if
Yeah,
they beat the
okay.
Cowboys, that's the only loss that I can right now see and accept.
But
that's happening.
that's 2 teams with super young quarterbacks. And
Agree.
It's
It's going to be great to
who's
see
gonna-
them. It's
who's
going to be
gonna
that
be
Russell
injured,
Wilson, Andrew
who's
Luck
gonna-
thing
yeah.
versus.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with the
Is
Cowboys.
the line's going to hold up?
Does Romo play? If you're
He's
Jerry
back with
Jones,
Gates.
do they go back to
Gates.
Romo or do they stay with Dak? That was a big question I saw a lot of people talking about today. Personally, you got to go with the
What do you
hot
do?
hand. You have to go with the hot hand. Romo's one hit
He's
away
got
from
that
being in a
team-
wheelchair the
he's
rest
got
of his
that team
career.
behind him.
Like he is. Like, I mean,
The team's behind
Well,
winning.
no, but I
They
don't mean
are.
Romo. I mean, they got the team behind Prescott.
Prescott.
If they're winning.
if
Yeah.
they're winning, it's
Yeah.
going to be hard to go back and say, "Listen, we're going back to Tony," because guys love Tony, but they know Tony's one hit away. You don't want to fracture this kid's psyche. If he's playing well, let him keep playing. He
He's
doesn't
the
turn the
future.
ball over.
He is the future.
Agree.
Yeah, you got to know he's the future.
Agree. And in the 4th round, go figure.
Okay, so predictions for the Lions game. We play the Lions next week, 1 p.m. on Sunday. What do you think?
The Lions are so up and down. It depends on what Max Stafford.
They
you
lost
get.
today.
If you get the Matthew Stafford who likes to light up fantasy numbers, he
that's
gives them a
his
game.
career.
But if
like that.
you get the Matthew Stafford that comes in and throws 3 picks and 200 yards, I can't like the Lions ever.
But does that depend on the defense? And do you think our defense could do that?
I think the defense will
Absolutely.
stop them. I think the
Absolutely.
screenplay is going to be huge. Theo Riddick, look for him to have a big game against those linebackers.
I can't talk more enough about our 4-3 and how the Eagles just feel and look so comfortable in it. Like they're really pulling together. I can't see them not like
Give the
destroying
Brandon Graham
the-
shout out.
Detroit-
Brandon Graham.
What?
Brandon Graham, friend of the
Brandon
program.
Graham.
Shout out to Moss
Our
for
weekly
Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham shout out.
There it is.
Nobody's saying where's JPP now. Nobody's
Nah,
saying
nobody
we
said
have
that.
Earl
Listen,
Thomas.
listen. He's got one hand above the competition right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
I
Detroit?
like the Eagles, especially Detroit, losing today to Chicago.
Yeah.
That was their first win of the season.
Who we beat?
Yeah, who we beat. Chicago's looking.
like Chicago.
Yeah. So. But that is division play for them. So.
Right. Division games always play different.
Yeah.
You know, always.
I don't know. I'm definitely taking Eagles next week.
Yeah, I got to go Eagles.
And they're
too.
coming off the bye too.
Yeah, coming off the bye with
Gotta
the
see how
rest.
They
Dougie
definitely
P
have more
does
to
with the
prove.
extra week of
I do like
preparation.
that it's not like every week, oh, prove them now. Prove them. It's off a bye week, so okay, let's prove some more Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Yeah, give this kid a week to dissect your defensive tendencies.
Although he was up in his home state this week.
All right.
Shooting some commercials, doing some stuff. So
There
hopefully
is.
nothing gets to his head. So we'll see how he is mentally.
He seems really grounded.
Yeah, he
I'll give him
seems-
credit. He seems really, really grounded.
I was just trying to do what you do right there.
There it is. I like it. I like what you did.
He's gonna fall apart.
Hating in this,
In the bird's nest.
in the
Wentz
president, in this
2016.
dancery. Do you have any more hateration
listen,
in this
listen, we had enough of that
dancery?
with MJB and her "If the Officer Stops You" promo commercial she did last week. That was the worst thing I have ever seen. Man, that was bad.
What is this?
Mary J. Blige.
You go on social media, you'll see it. She's a little bit upset about it
There's
too.
a thing called Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to get on that one.
We're back
Yeah.
to this Twitter thing.
Yeah, there's a thing called Twitter. You go on and you
Diana,
search
are you
Mary J.
familiar?
Blige. Okay, I think we have a question, so let's get to that.
Aaron Terrell, only 2 remaining undefeated teams in the NFC, Minnesota and the Eagles. Who's looking forward to Bradford versus Wentz? It's week 7 at the
Who's not looking
Yeah.
forward to
I
that game?
can't wait.
The Vikings D
I
and the Eagles
can't
D
wait. I
at home.
can't.
We get that game at home.
Listen, I hope
Run it.
Bradford lights him
Run
up
it.
and says that's what you get for trading me for a
What? I
bag of
hope Carson
peanuts.
Wentz says,
Yeah.
"This is
What, they
my
got a person
job.
for?
Hello, I'm here. This is my team.
I hope he plays well.
Let's run it."
I just hope that Bradford
anything
plays better.
against Bradford.
Right? No, you can't hate Bradford.
I love
Bradford
Bradford.
was a
Free
consummate
Bradford.
professional through the whole process. People just hated
Sammy
that.
B,
he
what's
was-
wrong with them?
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just amazing that Wentz worked out too, thank God.
Yeah, because then that
I'd
first
rather
one
him
people
have
back.
him for the home run.
Right.
I'm glad with where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so EC, so you normally do the fantasy
Mm-hmm.
player, but you always do the player that did well that game.
Right.
Considering we had no game,
Right.
who is your fantasy player to look out for next week?
I'm gonna go Theo Riddick from the Detroit Lions. I'm not picking an Eagle next week.
Why?
Why?
Listen, Theo Riddick is one of the best pass catching running backs stats-wise in the NFL coming out last season. They're going to utilize the screenplay early and often against the Eagles linebackers. As we know, that's one of the deficiencies on the team. Expect him to have a big game. Plus, I got him in fantasy. I need him to have a big game. I got Throttle
Seriously,
today.
fantasy? This is what
What
it
a
alludes
sellout.
to.
I mean,
What a sellout.
hey, listen.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any bonehead
I
plays?
do, and I gotta say, I gotta kind of put it on the refs. I mean, I get overly celebration, throwing a flag, but Josh Norman had a pick today, and he just did like a bow and arrow shoot, and they gave him a 15-yard penalty. And it's just like, come on. Like, let him play. Kenyon Barter, it was like a similar thing. He got in the end zone, did a little somersault, and did the drawback, and it was just like, it's not excessive. It's not excessive.
Right,
It's
they-
ridiculous.
Is
Like,
the bow and arrow, is it that offensive of a weapon?
Yeah.
Only if you're a Redskins
We're
fan.
taking that out of our repertoire?
Okay, so for the previous games, we haven't had Zach Ertz or McElvin, but they're both expected to practice tomorrow. Do we think that they're gonna, play? Do we think that's gonna be a big change or difference?
More pieces in the toolbox. I mean, more things for Dougie P to use. Again, I like what he's done so far, and I've said it 3 times. The league always catches up. They caught it with Chip. They caught it with the Wildcat. They always catch up. They will catch up. They will figure them out, and you will see a difference.
I think Ertz, it's good that he's back, but honestly, I mean, he's got to prove himself now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Trey
Have we
Burton.
missed him? Yeah.
Exactly.
Trey Burton
we
hasn't
missed him?
taken his job. Stop it.
I didn't say he's
We
taking
didn't.
his
Wait.
job,
We
but
just
Zach-
said he is doing his job. He's
Zach-
not taking
Zach
Zach.
Ertz- Zach
Trey
Ertz-
is doing his.
Zach
and you cannot
Ertz
knock
is
him.
starting to remind me of L.J. Smith, where every year it's, this is going to be his breakout
next
year.
year,
This
next
is going to be
year,
his
next year.
breakout year. He's got to show up.
Absolutely. And he has to show up soon because Selleck's not going to last that much longer.
Nah, Celtics out of here. Yeah.
He
Oh
did
well.
it so well, though.
I know.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Great blocker.
He got his touchdowns, too.
Yeah, here and there.
Hit a couple.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, we are going to wrap up. But thank you for watching the Greenest from My New Philly, where something is always new.
And
everything is always Philly.
Look out for Nadu in L.A.
I was on Cops. I didn't do it, but I was on it.